Grand Design's Lineage Series E 30DC just had its world debut, but the debut only scratched the surface.
We spent an afternoon at the factory with the man who designed it, and we're showing you all of it. I'm Bill.
And I'm Melissa, and we are
the Wandering Highlanders.
Over a period of 7 years, we lived in 4 different kinds of RVs, which included a 32-foot Class C. Imagine, 3 kids, 3 cats, brutal Colorado winters. So when our longtime friend Zach Waterman, the designer of the Grand Design's Lineage line, offered to give us an up-close and personal tour of the newest rig, we jumped at the chance.
Absolutely. Now, it's really important for you guys to know, nobody paid us for this tour. We're not sponsored, okay? And you're going to hear us ask all about the trade-offs, not just the highlights. This is a complete walkthrough from stem to stern, from top to bottom, beginning to end, along with every decision that went into it straight from the designer. We're not going to pull any punches. We're going to tell you straight as we see it.
Chapters are below it if you want to skip ahead. But stick around for our Ask the Designer Q&A with Zach.
Coming soon. So let's get to it. We're here with our buddy Zach, who we've known you, Zach, since 2018 or so, when you're actually partially responsible for us getting involved in FIRST Robotics, getting our kids into FIRST Robotics, which has completely changed their little career progression. But where are we and what are we taking a look at right now?
So we're at Grand Design Plant 15 here in Middlebury, Indiana, and we're looking at the new Lineage Series E floorplan 30 DC.
So we were at a party a few years back, and we're talking story because we lived in a 32-foot Sunseeker. Lived in it with our 3 kids, 3 cats, homeschooled them, did winters in Colorado, all of that. And we were wanting to talk to you because we think in terms of the consumer's perspective. And when you're designing a rig, the the cubic footage is the same. And it's just a question of what do you do? And Melissa asked you a question about that.
Where do you start? I expected him to start with where's the bathroom and the layout and the floor plan, and he started with the chassis.
So yeah, we have to start from the foundation, right? Where's my axle, right? It's not a travel trailer. I can't just move that axle wherever I want, put it in a more convenient place. It is where it is. So I have to play around with that. As you're driving, my wheels and tires are going to be moving up and down. I have to make sure I have enough structure height so you're not hearing that nice little bang as you're going over things. We start there. We design an entire platform around what the chassis we're building on, whether it's a Ford Econoline, whether it's a Mercedes Sprinter, if it's a Ford Super Duty platform. We do all of that foundational work before we ever even talk floor plan, because the floor plan doesn't matter until you get the bones figured out.
So you like to start on my wheelbase. What does it look like going down the road? I have to account for that.
Correct. That is step 1.
We're going to start doing a walkabout. And so would you rather start on the outside or the inside? How do you want to show us your rig? Let's start outside
with your eyes first.
Let's get to that. Let's check out this rig. Do we want to see from the guy that designed this rig, what's special about this? What makes this particular rig special? Let's do it. And Zach is walking us through the Lineage. And this model again is what?
So Series E is our first floor plan, the 30 DC.
And this just had a world premiere that just came out on YouTube, I think in the last couple of days that we saw.
Yeah, I think that launched earlier this week.
So this is as new gets. Let's talk to us from the beginning. What's special?
So what's special? So we're on the Ford Econoline E450 chassis. So that's going to have your standard, when you think Class C RV, you think the Econoline chassis, right? So this is on the 450. We've got a little more weight capacity than the 350, 55-gallon tank standard. And then we took that same tired old chassis that is an ambulance. It's a school bus. It's, every RV you've ever seen in any movie. Started here, and we're going to jazz that up from there. We're going to put a Raptor-style grill on the front. We partnered with Fox Factory. If we look under there, this isn't our cheap shocks. Well, it's a nice Fox package. So we had that developed specifically for this chassis. We take, instead of your typical RV using an aftermarket mirror, we take our Ford factory mirrors, and then we stretch those out. Because we're putting this big box on the back, you can't see around it with the stock mirrors. What most others will do, they'll take this off, throw it away, salvage it, scrap it, whatever they're doing with it, and then they're going to buy an aftermarket solution. Bill sideswipes somebody, right? Hits Jan's Prius driving down the street. What does he do? Now I got to figure out who made that thing. Who do I call for service? It's Ford. Call Ford. Get a Ford part. It'll fit.
Nice. Now I spotted something that I wasn't sure I heard about in the other video we were watching. What am I looking at down here?
Titan leveling system. So that's a Lippert component. A lot of smaller Class Cs, you don't have leveling, or if you do, it's just stabilization. It's not actually picking up, right? If you're uneven front, a little low, we'll actually pick that front end up, get you to even. We want that because it's going to be more comfortable walking through the coach. It also makes your slides work better, right? Try and run your slide out with your unit kind of twisted. What happens? Horrible noises, right?
Well, and that's what wrecks your slide outs. That's what gives you long-term problems.
Gotta have a stable foundation when things start moving.
Okay, carrying on.
All right, moving back. Where are the new Lippert screen defender door? We are one of the first on this in the Class C market. It's got your screen integrated. For our fuzzy little friends aren't gonna run through. I owe my parents a new screen door on their trailer because my fuzzy friend chewed through. They've actually got
never happened before.
Real screen, you're not gonna have your puppy run through that thing. Moving on back, our windows are all dual pane acrylic. They come out of the Netherlands. We run an entire plant on 4 window sizes.
And that makes your supply chain
nice and lean. Everyone knows what to do every time. We're not putting the wrong thing in. We're not grabbing the wrong parts and pieces.
Nice. Okay.
Moving back, on-demand new GE water heater. That is a brand new product from them. We're
on demand.
We're one of the first ones.
On demand. On demand.
It tested well.
And so when you're sitting there and you've got city water and you're hooked up there, you don't have to take your Navy showers.
Nope, you can have that as long as you've got propane and you've got supply cold water, you've got hot water.
Hey, I love me a good Hollywood shower. I'm loving that.
Moving back, the mother-in-law suite.
So I'm going to ask this question because I see you holding this.
These will have struts on them to hold them up.
Those will have struts. That was my question because I'm like, if I got to hold that while I'm loading in the paddle board.
We are very near the end of our line. Guess what gets done in this station?
Awesome.
That is one of the things that gets done here.
Okay. Now look at that storage. Can I geek out over that for a second?
Absolutely. It's ginormous.
So I'm going to put on my Star Wars 501st geek because for me, and Melissa laughs about this because she rolls her eyes at this. Don't you roll your eyes at this?
You can hear him going across the floor.
We carry our armor in these rolling totes.
Yep.
I can fit a full rolling tote with my Stormtrooper. I could put that in there.
Fit a whole Stormtrooper in there.
I could actually fit an entire squad of bodies in there, Stormtrooper bodies, in there without a problem. That makes me so happy.
And then not only can we fit them all in there, it's all lit. That is heated. That catches heat off your furnace. So if, the mother-in-law suite, as I call it. We've also got access on 3 sides. So if you've got the long items that are hard to maneuver around that corner, stick them in from the end.
So your skis,
your
snowboard,
golf clubs, your whatever else goes in there, your volleyball net.
I'm loving that. And just FYI, folks, this is not a fully assembled one, so obviously there's some lights missing and whatnot. But I do see something that's very important to me as the driver.
Camera.
We got a backup camera, right?
If you can't see what's behind you, you're gonna hit it.
Talk to me about what else. What are we? When I'm looking at here, this is important to us.
Yep.
Right?
So here we partner with Gen Y. All of our hitches here at Grand Design Lineage Class C are all Gen Y hitches. That is a 7,500 pound hitch. Okay. So whatever you're going to need to tow, whether that's your utility trailer, you're going to flat tow your Jeep, because I want to drive my family to the mountains, but I want to drive myself up the mountains.
Which is how
take your Class C RV up the mountains.
Right, that's
take
how we
Jeep
roll.
Up the mountains.
We're going to take our Class C. We're going to set up. We set up camp. We got our Jeep towed behind us. Yep. And on the back of the Jeep, then we've got our e-bikes or we've got our other things there.
So you've got your whole train going.
Cool. Okay. Keep going.
Yep.
Lead on, lead on.
We'll go around, same thing on this other side. Here's the third access into that ginormous storage, all the way across 8 feet of width. So we're all in aluminum construction, right? We've got our fiberglass on the outside. We're Asdale backed, so there's very little wood actually in this product, in the construction. some wood in the cabinets. We're never getting away from it. But the majority of our structure, it's steel, it's aluminum, it's all vacuum bonded. So we're not pinch rolling. Typical construction, we're gonna take 2 big rollers, we're gonna squirt some glue on everything, we're gonna squeeze them together and roll it through. That gives you a contact patch that wide as it's moving down your sidewall. We're vacuum bonding, so it's a urethane glue. We're putting that in between all our layers, and then we're pulling all the air out, squish everything down and hold it so the entire thing is getting that pressure the entire time. It comes for a better product.
Which means less worry about water down the road.
That means we're not getting delamination, we're not getting water in between the layers of our sandwich.
That's so beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna assume 50 amp, right?
50 amp, 2 ACs. We're not gonna build an Econoline or a Class E on a 30 amp. It's just not in our plans. 50 amp coaches run better, they cool better, you've got more power, you've got more to play with. Why sacrifice?
Love it.
Outside shower, right? So Bill's a little dirty after his stormtrooper kid out in the sand, right? We had sand day.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're a shore trooper and you're doing your beach stuff, absolutely.
So we can shower off. We've also got our convenience center down here. And again, that's gonna be held up. But black tank, gray tank, tank flush, everything you're gonna need to play with, all the dirty end of camping, that is all handled right here. And that is all heated and enclosed. We've got forced air coming off our furnace into that bay. We've also got heat pads on all the fresh black and gray tanks.
So for us, we've done 4 full winters in RVs like this in Colorado.
And in the winter, you brush your teeth with a bottle of water, right?
Yeah, well, and
you can just live.
we can do that with less worrying about doing your heat tape and wrapping up you're still gonna have to do that exterior, but you know this
After
area
it
is
gets
solid.
into the coach, we're good.
Beautiful.
So yeah, we are exclusively plumbed by Shark Bite. Typical RV, right? You've got your ratcheting band crimps. Did we do a good job today? You've got your plastic elbows. Did we do a good job today? Did we actually do that correctly? Do we crimp them right? Do we have our ends cut straight? We're all Shark Bite, and by partnering with Shark Bite to do all our stuff, we've got a 25-year warranty on your supply lines.
Wow.
How many RVs hit 25 years old? It's not many.
Not many. So you guys really are putting a lot of thought into the reality of what's it like for this coach driver, not just 2 years from now, but 5 years from now. And
so I could plumb this with cheap, bargain brand plastic fittings, ratcheting band crimpers. I could save $600 or $800 a coach. I'm choosing not to, because I'm not that low quality budget builder. I'm not just trying to pump out as many as I can shove out the door with a 30-30 warranty, right? 30 feet or 30 seconds, whichever comes first.
okay, I love that one. I'm loving that.
You all right, Melissa?
Yeah, I'm very diplomatic.
Okay.
So moving forward, again, no one likes to talk about it, but there's our stinky slinky holder, right? We're not
Hold on, hold the phone.
Okay.
You're telling me you built a stinky slinky.
dedicated storage for your stinky slinky.
I can't say that I've seen.
Because I don't want that in that bay.
You don't
I don't want
that.
Bill to have his rubber gloves and his Rubbermaid tote and open it all up, put it in there, hit it with the garden hose. It's not connected to the inside of the coach in any way.
I don't know if you can show this. My jaw is on the floor at that.
Show your jaw.
No, seriously.
No
Like
stinky slinky.
we're used to throwing the stinky slinky in the 4x4 box.
Throw it in a bag, you throw it in a box, wherever.
Well, not the box, but or in your
in your rear tube
the
bumper. Yep.
and the bumper.
Yep.
That's what we've always done. So to not have to do that. Sorry, but
Again, we're building a little higher end product than your old one.
I'm loving it. Carry on.
So more storage, right? This off camp side, this is where I'm gonna put my tools. This is where I'm gonna put all my stuff that I don't need it every day. I want that on my patio side where I'm gonna get into it all the time. This is I need it occasionally.
Well, and like when you're setting up camp or you're,
Get my leveling. Yep. If I put blocks under my levelers.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
LP.
Explain this.
When we started looking at the Series E, right? What do you do when you have a trailer, right? You have your grill bottles, your 30-pound bottles up on your A-frame. What do you do when you have a higher end Class C or a Class A? You have a bottle mounted up under the floor, and you got to go find a filling station that can actually deal with you. We don't have to do that. We can go to a Walmart, we can go to a gas station, we can stop at a Rural King. It's 20-pound grill bottles. It's plumbed for 2 of them.
Yep.
And if you want to go get, here, give me a new bottle. No, I don't have to go stand in line. I don't have to correct. I just go to exchange any gas station, any Walmart, any wherever you shop.
Wow.
They have gas for you.
Because
You
with
don't
us,
have to go to a campground.
well, and I distinctly remember doing this with our Sunseeker, is we had picked out a couple of U-Haul stations in the area where we knew, and we would scout it ahead of time.
Correct. You have to
make sure.
plan that trip out as, when am I going to run out of gas?
Right. Because I was watching this in some of the comments on another video, and there were some people complaining about that decision. And again, every choice.
It's a decision. Some people are going to think it's the best one ever.
Yep.
Some people are going to want me to be fired for it, right?
Absolutely.
have those comments.
Well, you do. But see, having been on that end where I have to plot and plan the entire access of my rig to get it in there and just to fill.
You planned poorly. Well, now Melissa has to take a cold shower.
Well, it isn't just
And
that.
you're going to sleep outside.
When you were full timing though, then maybe you've got the exterior thing going on with your bigger bottle and all that stuff, but then, or you hoard the use of your LP, and this is always going to happen.
And then I'm also dual bottle, right?
Right.
Oh, I ran out. I'm on my reserve bottle, right? On my motorcycle. I flip it over to reserve. I can make it to my gas station.
Well, and we can throw that other bottle in the Jeep because you never run out of propane at 10 o'clock in the morning when it's sunny.
No.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning when,
it's
when
cold.
it's
My
snowing.
furnace just kicked off. Yep.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, from our experiences wintering as full timers, I love that concept compared to the other.
It's
Everything-
controversial. You love it or you hate it.
Dude, well, everything's a trade-off. We're going to talk about this as we go through here. Every decision as you design a thing is a trade-off. We knew that when we walked.
Absolutely.
When you're walking through, looking at 30 RVs in a line, once you walk through 10 of the same length, you know the question is just what did they...
Do I want this here? Do I want there? Is this feature important to me? Do I not care about that feature?
Okay. Well, from having seen both the comments in other videos and from having done it ourselves, I can totally get why that decision was made. So I'm not asking for you to be fired. Not on that one.
So more storage, because you can never, ever have enough storage.
Agreed.
Truth.
So we boast a little over 120 cubic feet of storage in a Class C,
Okay.
which is at or near the top. All right, NPS 6,000 watt generator. This runs off the gasoline in your tank. There's not running on your LP. Those bottles run your furnace, run your water heater.
Oh my God.
That's it.
And keyword and tricky phrase, inverter. Okay.
Yep.
So for those that might not know, why do you have an inverter versus your traditional Jenny?
So your Jenny's kicking out AC power, right? You run that through your inverter, it's kicking out good, clean 12 volt, right?
Okay.
Having that inverter technology, I'm getting cleaner power, I'm getting more, right? You get dirty power, you start to lose appliances.
Yes.
My refrigerator, it hates dirty power, or my fan hates dirty power, my AC, whatever your component is, they do not like power doing this.
Yep.
They like a nice, steady, we're partnering with NPS, they build a heck of a generator. It's got their inverter technology in it. It is kicking out good, clean 12 volt right off those posts.
And we ran into this because we're living in Elkhart County. We lose power 1 in 3 storms.
At least.
And so at our house, we had a regular generator that would be running your pump and your
Yep, you've got your
heavy-duty
Yamaha
loads.
pull start or whatever. Yep.
But for the electronics, for my CPAP, for the laptop, for the electronics,
they
I
hate
bought-
that.
They hate that.
Yep.
So I bought a separate inverter just for that stuff.
Yep.
You all have gone right
Gone.
to that from the beginning.
In one.
I'm loving it. Okay, let's carry on.
So moving around, we will have running boards on here. As we said earlier, it's not fully built yet. We are near the end of our production line, but we're not at the end of our production line. So we'll have a nice set of aluminum running boards on here to help you get in and out.
A few moments later.
So I think we're ready. The slide outs are out.
Yep, so slide outs are out. While we've got them out, let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk
this
story.
This is the new Lippert Sure Slide. All right, so everyone knows the Schwintek story from way back. It was one of the early popular units. Lippert then moved on to a slim rack, right? Slim rack, way better than Schwintek. Solved a lot of the Schwintek problems. Created some of its own. Now we've moved to Sure Slide, and I have not used a more bulletproof system. It's expensive.
Okay.
But it's nice. If we look down here, our sill board here, our columns actually lock into that sill. So every time you run all the way in or all the way out, you get that little bit of compression. You're twisting that aluminum or that wood in your sidewall if you're on a stick and tin trailer, right? What happens? We're gonna break that seam. What happens on this? Since we're locked into that aluminum sill plate, at about 5,000 cycles, we start to just barely see a little stress. But that stress is in the sill plate. None of that stress has made it to the sidewall yet. We sized that perfectly.
They planned it that way for Melissa.
We did not. Our Series F proto has a chunk of Zach in it because it is a little higher.
Well, and that's why we're cutting apart the foam noodles, the lightsabers. And,
Yeah, I
putting that
didn't on our proto, and it took some of me with it.
So there was a blood sacrifice.
There was. What else? It was important.
All right.
Part of the process.
So what type of maintenance am I thinking about? Because, you know, that's something that you always are thinking about. You do, take it in, take her out.
It's a rubber seal. It's a plastic seal.
Okay.
You got to clean them. Get the pine sap off of them. I use Dawn dish soap on mine. Use whatever you want on yours.
Love it.
I really like the fact that it's acrylic.
Yep. It's acrylic. It's not glass. We save so much weight. And when we save weight, I give it to you, right? What can Bill carry in his RV? 2 water bottles, a dog, and one of his 3 kids.
Which is a very legitimate thing people need to pay attention to.
Yep. By lightening up this chassis, we're doing composite. If I pull up my linoleum, it's not OSB. There's a composite deck under there. If I pull up my skin on top of my roof, it's not a piece of OSB. It's a composite skin. We're saving hundreds of pounds on each. And we're paying more money for it. We're charging you more money for it. But you get more weight capacity, right? I put my tote on my Jeep, my Mini, whatever I'm hauling, and I still have something left.
Okay. Anything else we want to see as we walk around
No.
the other side? Or let's
just
check
cut
out on
in
here.
So in here, unlike typical Class C and steel, right? I saved lots of weight on my floor decking, on my roof decking. I'm spending some of it. You get most of it. I keep it a little for me. But we're not going to rot out, right?
Am I looking at a welded?
You're looking at a welded steel entry step.
I'm sorry, Zach, but again, I think my jaw might have hit the floor there. That's
Because my full-figured self is not running up and down a stapled together plywood and 2x4 step hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of times over the life of owning this.
Well, I mean, come on, hundreds of times. It's just your kids running up and down just on one
That's
camping
just one
trip.
day, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, we're a part of Winnebago. Winnebago owns Lithionics. It's our battery company. They're out of Florida. We're putting premier level lithium batteries in every coach standard. This isn't an option you can kind of get. This isn't something you're going to an aftermarket upfitter and having them take your brand new motorhome you just paid all this money and ripping the electrical system out and putting in a new one because what they gave you was We're
So-
giving you the best that's on the market.
You've given me a segue to something that I wanted to know about. Is we're going to be heading out west.
Yep.
We're going to be going through, we're going to be boondocking, we're going to be mooch docking, we're going to go out to the national parks and whatever, right? So how is this pre-set up for solar? How am I set up?
So
for
on your
off-grid?
Series E, we've got one solar panel up top. It's a Merlin solar panel, 200 watts.
Okay.
We can put 4 more.
Is that
You
some-
can put 4 more.
we can put 4
You
more?
can put 4 more. You're gonna get the same solar panels we're using. Solar matters when you start pairing them up. We're not gonna put an expensive 200 watt solar panel and a cheap 50 watt solar panel. We plug everything in, we get 50 watts. Gotta match.
Okay. But if we do that's the one thing we probably have to do if we want to
Pre-done.
go real.
So your panels are up there. You're not drilling holes in your roof, figuring out how do I seal them. Open the cover, plug in, MC4 connector, you're done.
You've really been thinking about this ahead of time.
We've
For
got
how do people use these?
Hidden down in here, we've got all your resettable breakers, right? We're not fuses. We're not ripping open cabinets looking for, where do I find this? It's down here. It's in the bed base. Those are the 2 places. I've got a Keysay, also Lithionics brand, right? That's their DC to DC controller. So Bill's driving down the road. He's got an alternator in the front end of his truck.
Yep.
It's kicking out more power than your truck needs. Guess who gets it? The house.
So if I'm picking up what you're putting down, she's driving my happy ass down the road.
Yep.
I'm a remote worker.
Yep.
I'm running my
Battery's
good
going up, not down.
on my laptop, and I'm running my Starlink. We're running our Travelfy. I'm doing my work while we're going from place to place, and I have an
You're getting
excess.
power off of that alternator. Off the truck has a little excess. It has to have a little excess.
I'm
It's
loving.
giving that to you.
Thank you.
Yep. That's also your solar controller.
Okay.
So alternator takes priority over solar. It's always going to win, so it gets priority status. You turn your key on, doesn't care what the solar's doing.
Okay.
All giving you off the alternator.
Yes. I have a question. Is this something that you came up with, or did you have a team?
So this is our team. So our electrical engineer, Richie, he is a whiz. If it's got wires, it's his. If it doesn't, it's mine.
Okay. So if it's the design, we blame you.
Correct.
If it's electronics, we blame him.
Well, we all blame me, but yes.
Okay. Anything else we want to see before
No, so we're going to move on inside.
Okay.
All right, so we're walking in. So just like outside, we talked that foundational stuff. I don't care what the floor plan behind me looks like. This is a Lineage Series E. Right? So we've got your Ford seats. We're recovered the first couple. We've got those coming in Ford factory vinyl. That's going to be all matching. So we'll have that color mismatch goes away after we start getting the Ford parts in.
So, couple questions that I'm going to ask because we noticed this in the other video, and this is what came to our mind. 2 questions. One, can I get the seat safe that we had in the other RV?
You cannot, because this is a one piece. If the headrest comes off, I can put a safe in it.
Okay.
Ford makes these in the Econolines. That's a solid piece all the way one through.
Okay.
I can't remove the current, so I can't replace it with something nicer.
All right. That was something
Unfortunately, you want that, you got to move up to a Series F or a Series M.
Got it. Second question is, will there be the ability to rotate these seats around?
Not at this time.
Okay. Just had to ask.
But we can install aftermarket.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So aftermarket.
I happen to know who makes one that fits.
Then that might be something we talk about later. But let's carry on. Please continue showing us the cockpit.
We've got this same Series E. It's every ambulance. It's every movie magic Class C you've ever seen, right? This is the chassis. How do we jazz that up? We go north, right? Typical Class C. We're going to take our sidewalls all the way forward. We're going to vinyl wrap some Luan or some thin plywood. We're going to kind of force it into that corner. Make something looks halfway presentable. Grand Design, we're a premium builder. We spend a little more money. We charge a little more money. But we've actually got all this molded plastic. We're sharing actually some of these parts with our Series F. We're sharing some of these parts with our Series M. Kind of built this all together. We've got your shade, right? Bill's kids want to take a nap in the middle of the day. Those kids do not want to take a nap. But Bill wants his kids to take a nap, right?
Those kids are too old to take a nap.
Bill's grandkids want to take a nap up here.
Now we can shut off the sun for a while, right? Or Bill's kids want to watch the stars tonight. We can open that back up. Hey, we got a full moon tonight. Let's go look at it.
Okay. What's weight capacity in case Fat Bill wants to go up there?
I believe we're stickering those at 500, but...
Okay. So watch the weight. But yeah, I could sit up there and not
I've been up there. I've napped on one.
Fair enough.
Fantastic. Fat Bill's got nothing on Fat Zach.
Okay. I love it.
So your kids, it's all Bluetooth switches. We're not running wires everywhere, right? All your Bluetooth switches makes our build faster, easier, and more reliable. Bill has a problem down the road. He's got to put a new watch battery in a switch. He doesn't have to hunt and peck and pull this all apart and find where a wire got clipped. So I could turn on my lights and turn off my lights.
And I'm seeing USB-A and USB-C.
USB-A and C. You've also got 110 up here. So your kid wants to charge their iPad, their Android tablet, their whatever your kid has, it's all there. All right, we've got our curtain comes across. Bill's kids live on one side, Polite Society lives on the other, right? So what do Bill's kids say, or Bill's grandkids here coming up shortly? Dad, I'm hot. Dad, I'm cold. We've got Cobra, cab over, bunk, ram air. So my air conditioners, which are heat pumps, or have heat pumps. We want a little cold up here, open my vents. I want a little hot air up here, open my vents. Whatever we're running on this side of the curtain, we're running that side of the curtain. Right, typical Class C RV, this is the farthest forward vent in the coach.
Yeah.
And if you live north of the curtain,
you are baking or freezing.
Yeah, deal with it. It's your problem, not mine.
That's what kids get.
That's what kids get. Here, we've got that Cobra. We're running vents off, pulling down, coming around. That's why we've got this little bit of a profile here. That's all air management.
Okay. Smoke detector.
Smoke detector. So when Bill starts cooking, it's an oven timer. Also, we are molding these wing walls in. So Bill's got little cubby storage, little map storage, whatever we want to put in here, my iPad.
You're putting your remote, you're doing the things there.
Your remotes, your maps, your cell phone, whatever it is. This isn't just a cheap piece of vinyl wrapped plywood.
And I'm noticing that over here too. So we're already pre-ready with a fire extinguisher, which is brilliant.
Standard, yep.
Okay. And then whatever you might need for the front door, whether that's your dog leash or whatever, like this, there's
your
thought
key
in that.
cabinet, that's your phone, that's your hat, your glasses.
Yeah, absolutely.
So moving around the coach, Apex furniture, we've got, it's not plugged in, so I have nothing.
Because we're still being built.
We've got, well, I could just go plug it in, but we've got motorized, right? They lift up. I've got a nice seating here, looking right at my 40-inch TV.
One of the comments that we saw was about a couch.
So there are some questions about couches here versus those in case somebody lives
So
that way.
we've been asked that, couches versus theater seats. We chose to go theater seats. We got to launch with something. We may develop a couch in the future, but it's not just go to Walmart and buy one, right? We've got seat belts integrated. We've got lights integrated. We've got cup holders. It's got to fit in our box, height, width, depth. So we may develop an option, right? Whether that is sofa standard, we option up to the theater seat, or theater seat standard, we option up to the sofa.
Sure. But this is a world
At
premiere.
this time, this is what is available. You pick an outside color, you pick an inside color, you get a motorhome.
Beautiful. All right, carrying on. What do we got? So I believe I saw some really cool, like your, the choices. Tell me about the choices of everything here.
So looking up here, these doors actually come out of Techwood in Europe. It used to be Technoform. They're in Italy. These are European poplar plywood. These aren't, good old-fashioned American hardwood that swells and then shrinks. Right? What do you do if you're in Arizona in the summer? You got a 5-gallon bucket of water right in the middle of the living room just to keep all your cabinets together. We're edge banded, we're sealed, we're post-formed all the way around. We're not getting moisture inside or outside of this wood. We're a stable product.
Because right now we're sitting here in Indiana, and this might be about 95% humidity after that
I
storm.
swam here.
Yeah, and we don't need to drink water because we're drinking it in the air right now. But when we're out in Colorado next week, and then we're out west, and we're at 15%
You're going to go down to
humidity.
negative humidity. Yep.
Correct. So you guys are actually thinking about that in the design room.
We spend more money. We charge you more money. We eliminate some future problems, because it's not if, it's when you have a problem with any RV.
And we've
RC
seen
included.
Yep.
But we're trying to make those problems as small as possible.
I also want to just say I appreciate the fact that there's no extra decor around the window.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. Can we just say from after every RV that we've owned, the first thing that we do is we
Rip
pull
all
off
of those off. Yep.
the valances and all that crap.
Yep.
We get rid of it every time.
And we want to the designer because it looks like it's from the 1980s.
Well, it was.
So congratulations, Zach. I don't want to calibrate.
We'll find
there.
something later.
You know what? I got to be careful with how I say that for YouTube. Zach, I don't want to calibrate you for this. How about that?
Oh, the YouTube overlords.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to unlock our window,
That's
and we can open those up. We can go just a little bit. We can go all the way up. We can close them all the way down.
So if I'm food trucking this for the crew, metaphorically speaking, I can't.
You can.
Can I do that here too?
Every window in this coach opens. the same
You're
way.
totally kidding me. So we're cooking here.
Yep.
I don't want to let the rugrats in and out.
Open a window, throw a hot dog at them, and tell them to go away. All right, with this, Bill doesn't want the neighbors to see him without his pants on.
Nobody
The
wants to
neighbors
see.
don't want Bill to see him without his pants on.
We won't talk about me wearing a kilt.
Maybe
That's for
maybe
news
we
story.
want a little airflow, but we don't want some skeeters, right? So we can pull that shade down. Everything's integrated. I don't have the valances, the lambrequins you were talking about, all the ugly fabric.
Yes.
There's been some nice ones over the years, but I think 3.
Yeah, but that's just to us as cat owners when we had 3 kids and 3 cats.
Lace for cat hair.
Well, and it was a scratching post
Absolutely.
that then got turned into nastiness. So I
All
appreciate
plastic, nice. Shades are integrated. And pull up for privacy. I can pull down for ventilation. I can close my windows all the way down.
And that
They
is a
lock.
secure lock. That isn't the twisty turn things that are going to bind up on you. Like, to me, that's almost a KISS simple design process.
Now, we've got to push the button. We've had early days. We had some customer education, right? My latches broke. Every one of them all at the same time. What happened? Push our button, and then we can rotate up. And then they snap back into place.
So you can't say it, but I'm going to say that. That might be what in the IT world, I would call it a PEBCAC issue. Problem exists between chair and keyboard.
Similar. It's similar. Right. Same thing that we had up front. Everything's push button. Everything's Bluetooth.
And this is all soft close, right?
This is all soft close right here. Right.
Okay.
So our Series M, our Series F, we noted those are all push button. Series E, we got to take a little out. That is your more entry-level customer. So we actually developed handles that go into that same hole. We're using those same doors we are on our M&F. We just don't have that Baldacci push button.
So, query.
Yes, you can swap them out.
That wasn't my question, but I love it. Here's my question, because we're driving around, driving down the road at however many miles an hour, and it gets a little bumpy. I'm used to latching down my cabinets and whatnot. Do these have latches? What do I do?
So
to
your
secure
soft
my
close, that takes some work to get open.
Okay.
Some of your biggers, yeah, we may have to get creative on where things go. There's detents in all your soft close that do provide some level of retention. It's not the push button latch we have in our higher series.
Okay. So that's just something that owners are going to have to know. They're going to have to pay attention to.
Moving back, dinette, right? Have a game of cards, have dinner as a family, send the kids to bed, folds down into a bed. We've got it down in the bed here. That's a Cass Hudson Dream dinette. We're going to pull a latch, we're going to lift that up into place, latch it in its up position. Okay. So we're not grabbing your Sunseeker, right? What'd you do? You grab the table, you had to line up these two brackets, get it pushed down just right. You miss a leg, the whole table's hanging like that. Pick it up, lock it.
I can tell you, for us, we never changed the dinette, and when our kids were little, we did use it. I'm now going to put on adult bill, okay, full-time remote worker, 2 full-time remote workers, and I totally get what you're doing for the now. I can tell you, for me, future state, I'm having a standing desk, or I'm having a desk in there.
Absolutely.
Is that within the cards, or am I going to destroy everything?
It's your RV, and that's the beautiful thing. I love when customers come back. Here's what I did.
Okay.
I never thought to do that. That's cool. That's wicked awesome, right? That serves your specific need. Go to town.
Perfect. So this is designed with that thought process that I can improve.
So this is seatbelt locations. Please don't modify my seatbelt brackets. If you do,
that's
on
me.
you.
Yeah, fair enough. But
We have to go through FMVSS testing to certify that these are good as we design them, as we build them.
Yep.
You're going to do what you're going to do.
But see, that makes sense for coming off of, we're in the factory, we're here in Elkhart. That makes sense for that. What I do and what we do as full-time remote workers, fully within our realm.
Absolutely.
Got it. Perfect. Yep. This is the wife's perspective now.
Yeah.
We're in the kitchen. We're in Melissa's domain.
Well, actually,
Bill can't cook.
Actually, Bill does more cooking.
Bill does more cooking than I do. I do the cleaning.
Gotcha. So 40-inch 12-volt TV. Reason that's 12 volt. It's running off your battery. It's running off your alternator. All that power is 12 volt.
open it?
We've got power driving.
And so it's fixed, so you can't swivel it.
Nope. So that is not swivelable, but we can get that up out of the way. We're not sacrificing this storage.
Well, I think that's
This is Starlink prepped. Right here, we've got, pull that down, pull the cable out of it, get your Starlink router and your power modem. This 110 outlet in here is live all the time. That is on your inverter.
Okay.
That is for a reason. That is so your Starlink, if you so choose, has good clean power all the time. Right? I want to put my DVD player in here, my Fire Stick, my whatever. I've got HDMI plumbed right out to the TV.
Kicking it old school, are we, with a DVD
We
player?
are. I still have one.
Well, bless your heart.
Hey, you know what? We like our vintage gaming system.
Sure. So there's also WinGuard in here. You can plug
So you've got your WineGuard 5G antenna up on top.
Okay. So I'm just going to go over here. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Short people problems. Why not? Is this because of the deep sink?
There's nothing behind it, so why give you a door?
No, I love the deep sink. I think this is beautiful. The debut video we watched with
That was Matt's RV, yep.
noted that there was all these square, which I think is pretty. I like
So we've got a theme of black and square.
But
It's our product manager, Mike, that's his best thing that's been done since sliced bread. It's black, it's square, he loves it.
I mean, honestly, I could give a hill of beans for that sort of design, but you know what? That floats some people's boat.
Yep.
What I care more about is functionality. And we've got an inverter.
So we've got a dual burner induction cooktop, right? So we talked earlier, right? 2 bottles LP outside. They're smaller. They're not the capacity of an 80-pound bottle permanently mounted. But I've got a furnace to worry about, and I've got a water heater to worry about. I'm not cooking on it.
Right.
I'm not running all my appliances. I don't have a gas absorption refrigerator. I've got 12 volts. So it doesn't have to be that big, right? With induction, I need induction friendly pans.
Sure. Which we have.
Yep.
And they're lighter weight anyway.
And they're, well, unless I run my cast iron.
Well, that's not.
I prefer good food.
We love our.
We love our cast iron, and we used our cast iron in our Sunseeker. It had the gas.
Cast iron is induction friendly.
But cast iron is heavy.
Yep.
I just noticed here that it's a convection microwave oven with air fryer. That was very exciting. Sorry. I'm going to just open it up and look inside.
You'll see all the packaging material.
I see the packaging material, but I've never looked inside one. I think it's wonderful.
Yep.
Because for me, I like the efficiency. For me, also, I like that it's up here and not down here because...
Don't have to bend over, work under countertop. Yep.
Where's our fan? Our fans are here. What?
Fans are
Is this?
here.
Is this
Just a heat
magnetic?
shield. Just a heat. It's a piece of steel. You know, throw
it's
some magnets up there. Yep.
Yay!
What, steel instead of aluminum? Typically, I want to go aluminum. I want to get the weight out.
Sure.
That's steel. Magnets. I can stick whatever I want on there.
And then this is just a deep,
Pots
giant
and pans for days.
And then I believe the water access is
Yep,
back
so
there.
your water pump's down behind there. We could pull that drawer out, get to those. That's where you're going to do all your winterizing.
No, that's nice.
Yep.
Easy access. And then I wanted to poke my nose at these. So just not as deep.
Nope. We've got plumbing going on behind your exterior TV
Gotcha.
is
And
right
there
behind
is
there.
your-
Your speakers on your outside are right back there. There's not a lot of room to play with on the backside.
Sure. But you know what? If you need all that stuff, then somebody needs to downsize. Basic standard.
Nice big, throw a trash can in.
Now I like this fridge. Would you Vanna White it for me?
Furion, triple door, French door, 12 volt. Again, 12 volt. We're not burning LP.
This is hot.
That strip gets hot. So we got our drawer style freezer on the bottom.
Oh, that is so great.
And then everything locked, right? This is an RV. It's
Yeah.
made to go down the road. It's going nowhere. I've got to actually push to pull.
See, that's just smart to me. That's a better design. I like that.
No, that's a grand design.
But and then we have a
Nice,
giant
big
box.
pantry.
Look, a giant box.
If Melissa wants to build some
Install.
adjustable shelving, if you want to put in some wire racks, all that is for you do with as you please.
Yeah, we're going to IKEA.
Yeah, when I see those, I'm like, they're like, oh, look at all the storage. And I think, oh, look, it's a giant box.
Nice and soft close.
I see that. But I do like that they're moving to storage on the right-hand side of the fridge. I've seen that in newer RVs, and I think that's a smart move. And we've got fans, one in the bathroom, one in the kitchen, right?
Here's your 12 volt fan. That's going to be exhaust.
Yeah.
Pull all your cooking out. If it's warm but not real hot, we don't want to kick on ACs.
Sure.
We can open this up, pull some of that hot
How
air
do
out
you
of our
open it?
coach. All right here.
Oh. No more of those little crank that goes. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Got it.
There's no batteries in that remote.
That's
yet.
fine. But it's remote, and that's fine. Is that
So
what is?
we
what
light
is
up
this?
all the way around.
What is that?
That's hand crank. If you do need to open that up, if you've lost power in your coach.
Gotcha. Well, okay. Fine. I just, short people problems.
Well, that's why we have our handy and dandy battery-free remote right now. We'll put batteries in before we ship it. Again, we're almost at the end of the line. We're not there.
But that's
That's
So, air conditioning
nifty.
system. We've got lots of patents on our air conditioning system because it's like no other air conditioning system
Do
in any
tell.
RV. We're running a full 10 decibels lighter than the next competitor.
really.
We're actually plumbing in. We're not just direct dumping out here. This is a return, right? The more I can return, the more I can supply. So I've opened all this up. I've got a residential style filter. I can pull this out, wash it, dry it, throw it back in.
Dude.
Not the
amazing.
cheap little tiny filters you see in most.
Right?
Right, so I can pull this out. All these linear slot diffusers, I can open these up. They're actually hook shaped. They're scooping that air out, forcing more down and spreading it out. It's not just that round. I get pressure in there and eventually it'll fall out. Right. Some of that cold air eventually works its way through. We're actually forcing that air out, putting it exactly where we need it.
Well, I will say that is a legitimate solution to a long-standing problem.
And then every Series E or Series F coach is all dual AC 50 amp. So I've got it up here. I've got it back there. Some manufacturers are going to give you a 15K up front. And they're going to cheap out and give you an 11 or a 13 in the back. 15, 15, both have heat pumps. We have skimped nothing on that system.
so This right here, I'm just showing you future Bill state. Okay.
I'll come over and visit.
I've got my legs propped up. I'm going to have myself some type of laptop
You've got your
stand.
tray that sits right in here and swings around. Yep.
Well, I got my mouse here.
Yep.
And right there, I'm looking at you said 40 inch?
40 inch. Yep. So Bill's going to use that as a computer screen, isn't he?
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
With headphones.
While Melissa's driving you to and from.
That's my point. I got my Shocks headphones in.
Yep.
I'm Bluetoothed in. I'm doing my video editing.
Yep.
And I'm betting there's a way that I can connect up to that.
You should
TV.
edit this video on that TV while you're driving down the road.
I'd love to see it. Okay. But that right there, I'm going to tell you, if I can hook up and I could be working, this is more comfortable
So
than a lot of chairs.
there's trays?
So trays exist. They are not offered on this. So on floor plans where we make you choose a sofa or a dinette, we give you tray tables. We give you a sofa and a dinette. We don't give you tray tables.
But there is a way.
You can call service, order it through our parts department. They do exist.
My happy butt is going to be sitting here.
And there's 1,000,001 aftermarket solutions. If you don't like the shape or the size of ours, there's 1,000,001 things out there.
Like the only thing, if I could tilt that by like just a smidge, if I could get that 10 or 15 degrees of tilt,
So we could pull the bolts out of the bag, put a spacer behind them.
I'm thinking that, yeah. We might have to 3D print that.
It's absolutely 3 washers.
Okay.
3 washers will get you 5 degrees.
Dude, I'm sold. That right there, that's money. That is absolutely money for sitting here. I'm editing. I'm playing video games. No, I'm sorry. I'm working.
Totally working.
Totally working.
Very hard.
Diligently. All right, let's go aft.
That's what he said.
Cody.
That's what our kids say.
Ugh.
All right,
Dang kids.
let's go aft.
All right, so going back, we're in the bathroom. And we don't have a 24-inch angled shower. We have a full 36 by 32. I'm a bigger guy. I don't fit in a corner shower. I'm 6 foot. I'm good, right? I don't want to design something I wouldn't use. I don't want to design something my parents wouldn't use. There's not been a Waterman born in the last 200 years that would fit in most RV showers. I've got my rolling door because no one wants to watch me shower.
With privacy curtaining on.
My so I can get everything I need. I can turn these lights on and off. I can catch some sun from outside through my skylight.
Can you move that paddle, that shower head? Can that go up higher?
I can put it up there.
Sweet.
And I can swivel up. I can swivel down.
So you can do like the rainwater thing if you're short enough.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I can put my soap, my shampoo.
Is this steel?
That is aluminum.
That's aluminum. Yep. Okay, so no magnets on this.
No magnets.
Unless I put a magnet on the other
Water's
side.
good.
Water's good. Yeah. I'm just going to say that compared to the 688 showers that we had on the boat, dude, that is
I'm going to
luxury.
open up my bathroom door. I'm going to close my pocket door. I've got a walk through from here to here. No one's seeing me. So, anytime you've got a floor plan with a divorced bathroom where your shower's not inside the bathroom door, you've got to figure out how to close off that hallway. Now, if I'm taking a shower, I just got this, freely walk through the coach. If I'm in that transition, getting in, getting out, I've got this open. I've got my pocket door closed. Now, if Bill's in the bedroom, Bill's staying in the bedroom for a minute. But that is, as you said earlier, those gives and takes, those trade-offs. If you want a divorced floor plan, where your shower's on one side, your stool's on the other, this is what you got.
Makes sense. And I didn't see it from there, but you were saying, so there is actually a pocket door height.
Hard door for your bedroom. So, kids, I'm going to bed, shut up. Shut the door, go to bed.
So what is this made out of?
That was just a wood panel door with a honeycomb core.
The only reason I ask is because our cats hate nothing more than a closed door.
Yep.
So if I happen to take on the oscillating cutting tool and cut myself out a little cat door, I can do that.
Absolutely.
That's on me.
That's on you.
Perfect.
No.
Mama said no.
It was worth a try.
Let's go in the bathroom.
Well, let's shall. I'm going to watch from the shower. I'm going to watch Zach go to the bathroom from the shower. How many people can say that?
too many at this point. I believe one is too many.
That might have been one too many.
So I've got enough room to get my business done. We'll leave it at that.
Now, I'm concerned about this counter space. There's none.
There's lots.
There's some.
It wraps all the way around countertop for days.
Yeah, and then these little pukas, are there things that you can put on there to keep things from falling?
If you want to put some little storage baskets, some pukas, go to IKEA and fulfill your wildest fantasies. I've got some nice storage under.
Okay. So, Zach, this isn't a Jeep. You're not putting the saggy, what did you call that? The saggy mesh nets? Yeah, we're not doing that, right?
Now, I did notice back here there are some hooks, which I think are pretty nifty.
We've got some flip down robe hooks. Right, hang your robe, hang your towel. And
I swear I saw those at IKEA.
just like out in our main living room, we've got our 12-volt fan. It lights up, it exhausts, pulls some of that hot air, some of that steam out of here.
And
then this is my water heater controller. So I've got on-demand water heat. I've got to tell it that I'm demanding. So I can turn my temperature up, I can turn my temperature down. Mama likes a hotter shower, Mama can have a hotter shower.
all right, are we heading aft?
We're moving back into our bedroom.
Is there storage under the bed?
Out there is. So how we got that big outside storage, it's all outside.
So this doesn't pull up.
Nope, that does not pull up.
But that actually makes more sense compared to what we did. I mean, you've got all that beautiful storage.
Yep.
So this right here,
As you said earlier, the volume is what the volume is. Do I want the storage inside or do I want the storage outside? We opted to have more outside storage. You lose a little on the inside.
So I see a plug in here.
So our king bed, which will slide all the way in, it is not a folding mattress. It does not, you don't have to fold it over. I can run it all the way in and go home or go on the road, go wherever I'm going. How we decided to set up this bedroom, we've got these counters overhang quite a bit. And the reason for that is on the left, I can make some choices, right? We won't install them from the factory. We don't offer a washer and dryer in this, but everything is prepped. I can either do a combi unit all the way on the left, where it is my washer and it is my dryer all in one, or I can divorce, right? Washer on the left, dryer on the right. They're already sized for them. They're set up for them. They will hold that weight. You know, I've got my drawers for my laundry pods. I've got all whatever I want to put this as. I don't need a wash and dryer. I'm just pole to pole camping. I'm home every week. I'm only a weekend warrior. I've got two massive wardrobes.
Yep. All right, can I tell you one thing that I see that I adore? And this is as a full-time RVer who's full-time RV'd in the wintertime. The fact that these are slit right here for ventilation.
So those are vented for your washer and dryer. So your washer and dryer have ventilation requirements. I don't know what washer and dryer you're going to want to put in here. So I've covered all of them.
But I'm going to tell you why I love it. Because when we full-time RV'd winter and we didn't use dehumidifiers, we would get mold.
Anything you want.
We would get mold on our clothing because
All that moisture is just trapped.
all that moisture, especially when you're using
Push the button.
I won't say it was an ID10T error. I will just say that it just takes a little bit of a user training. So what I was saying on here though is when you did,
That one doesn't stay open. So
she's just going to hang her head out the window and cool off because it
that's
is
a
a
code thing. You're not allowed to have a ventable window on the back of the coach.
Okay.
That's an egress. That's a get out.
Okay. So back to this though. The fact that I'm going to have my hanging clothing in the wintertime, all that ventilation means I'm going to have less mold. I'm going to have less mildew. I'm going to have less long-term problems. So I'm telling you, I love that design choice.
What's the idea to put as little?
So go ahead, Bill. So a little dresser countertop.
Who's getting dressed?
That's Bill's laptop. That's Melissa's makeup counter. That's
Melissa has baggy moms. Very.
There are other women that are a little bit more high maintenance.
Melissa's
than
doing laundry, so she needs somewhere to fold clothes while Bill's sleeping. It's whatever you want. That ain't bad.
Okay.
Like we mentioned earlier, we've got our own air conditioner back here. If we want to sleep cool, the kids want to sleep warm, we can turn ours down, turn their temp up.
And so this stays up, but it can't.
So that flips up just like your kitchen.
Right.
So we pull that down. We've got a 24-inch 12-volt TV. We can sit back here, watch our shows at night. If you're a TV sleeper, I'm not. It's a fan and nothing else. If you have to have a show running to sleep, it's all set up for you.
Okay.
Now, we noticed that when it comes to the bed, there's little itty bitty
Yep.
side tables. And of course, there's sacrifices for everything.
Yep.
But we have CPAPs.
So that's actually what those are for, is I can set my CPAP on there. I've got 12 volt and 110 sitting right next to it on the side of the bed base. That is with a CPAP in mind.
Perfect.
Except that I have cords and everything everywhere.
So your hose is just going to go along there.
Yep.
But there is at least, because what I will tell you, when we first looked at it, we're like, where am I putting the CPAP? I don't see. And there's also additional design
So we
choices
got
to not have this stuff above.
Little phone storage right here. Bill's going to take his teeth out at night and throw them up there, whatever it takes.
Steel or aluminum?
Those are, oh heck, you're going to ask me.
Well, I would, because if we learned this on the cruise ship, is if anywhere that you have steel, I can use a magnet.
I believe those are steel.
Because I will tell you, like, we brought a lot of like magnetic hooks. That's where we would string and organize up our cable management. So just food for thought. Magnets are the best thing ever when you're in a cruise ship.
So for optimal storage, so that you could move your RV in and out without disconnecting all the things, you're going to have to do some aftermarket solutions
As far as your CPAP?
or storage for along here.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. All right. What else do we got? I think we're wrapping up towards the end of this.
Bedroom.
This, and so again, windows are the same. Those you get
Same
ventilation.
we've got everywhere else. There's everywhere but that back wall. That back wall won't stay open. That is a code thing. So we can't have it open driving down the road, get a bunch of seal in here.
This or leave it.
That's fine.
All right, I'm going to go stand in the shower because I want to try that.
All right. Let's look at Melissa in the shower. No, not like that, guys. Not like that.
Why'd she hit me? You said it. Enough room to get business done?
It's nice and spacious. Do we have issues with these rolling doors?
I've heard of one.
It's not as bad as the screen door on the back of at my house.
And how do I get out?
That was actually the complaint I heard. A little clip right there. You just got to open the clip.
I see that.
Actually, I was just reading that on one of our forums today. Customer was explaining that. I got locked in and I banged on the wall till my husband came and told me how to open it.
Okay. But see, I can do a Ferris Bueller in here all proper like.
I recall Central Park in fall. How you tore your dress. What a mess, I confess.
All right, this.
Do you like this toilet paper? I like this. That's smart.
And then we've got they're coming on as we're walking through. It's daylight, so we're not seeing them very well. All motion lighting, right? Gives you just that little bit you need, right? I've got a step here. I put some light right in front of it.
I absolutely adore that. And the only reason that I might not adore that is the cats or the little four-legged critters. Is there a manual override just in case?
There is not.
Okay, just true. I don't know if somebody will complain about it. The light doesn't bother me because I'll slate through anything except for World War III or whatever.
How many years on a sub to get to that level?
Well, no, see, from being... All right, so I got to switch this. As the sailor says, this is a straight up no-hitter. Okay, that's how you know it's a real sea story. Okay, so there I was. Now, what I was saying is, how will you wake up an electrician's mate on a fast attack submarine? I could be dead ass asleep. I've been awake for 36 hours. I've been asleep for 15 minutes. When the sound of the ventilation fans wind down, that means the reactor is scrammed. We've lost main power. We're now on the battery. All non-essential electrical loads are disabled. I will wake up from a dead sleep. I'll be throwing my poopy suit on and running aft before they've called out the scram alarm over the one
Just
MC.
from the vents going.
Just from the vents running down. If you want to make me PTSD when I don't have PTSD, you shut off fans while I'm asleep. Just saying. That is a straight up no-hitter sea story right there.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
All right, so let's look at this because I wasn't looking at this. So we're just being real here because one thing that we kind of pride ourselves on, you know, whether we're talking about the Villa V Odyssey or whatever, is we try to look at this as real people. So can us as non-skinny gits, can we sit here without our bellies killing us? Is this comfortable enough to eat-ish?
Kind of, I guess.
Zach?
We're about the same size.
Yeah. Okay. And
I'm a
that's
little
just-
bigger than you, but
Yeah.
well,
Well,
look.
I'm losing pounds by the month. I mean, GLPs are a great thing.
I'm finding them. Quit leaving those things laying around.
The shadow of his former self.
I am. I am a far shadow from what I was a year ago when we were on the Villa V. But what I see here is at least enough reasonably that 2 reasonably sized adults can sit here, and then the kids can eat here. Maybe we.
And then also with the side cushions,
Right.
I can enjoy some TV after dinner.
So 1 adult plus 1 child per side, realistic, but that's going to be any Class C. I'm just being real here. You know, that's just what you're going to get.
Yep.
So,
This is not a 4-person booth.
completely. But you're not buying this for a 4-person booth,
Yeah, it's 4 tiny children, and then the adults get to sit in the nice chairs.
which I'm completely for, especially when we have our whatever's you want to call it there, our TV trays. So I'm loving that.
A few moments later.
You did a great job. I really, really like it. You know, it's a Class C, so it has the bed up there.
Yep.
But I would say, and you know, of course, one of the things I love about Class A's is it massive amounts of storage underneath. I like the Class A because it looks like a giant bus and you can put stuff in it.
Yep. So C's, that is one of the sacrifices you're making. I don't get as much storage. But it is a more familiar format. I'm driving a truck. I'm not driving a school bus.
Well, and that's something that we had talked about. We've been debating Class A versus Class C. And I want a Class A because there's just a lot of things that I like about it. But the Class C, we do like the fact that you can just climb into a truck and go.
Yep.
Now, with our 32-foot Class C that we had, the Sunseeker, I actually rented it out over the summer, and I got really good at backing it in and out. That's without a backup camera.
See, now that's easy street. You've got the backup camera. This will be very similar to your 32 Sunseeker. This is 3210.
We just don't have kids.
You just don't have kids.
All right, guys, we're going to land the plane right here. And Zach, I want to tell you, it was about a month ago, we went to a local sales place. We walked probably 34 plants, Class C's, Class A's. When I walked out of there, I told Melissa, I said, I don't think I could see myself driving a Class C. Again, nothing that I saw on that lot would get me to drive a C, because for us, we were looking in the 34 to 36 foot Class A range. I think you just showed me the first 32 foot C with the washer dryer and enough storage that for us as 2 digital nomads, that we could actually reasonably travel the country in that.
It'd be a lot of fun seeing one.
Grand Design, I'm just saying, I would love to drive myself around the country in one of those. But I don't think until I took this tour, I honestly don't think I could have saw us at this phase of our lives going back to a C, even though when we were debating and we argued this out, we debated this out at great length, about size, about do we want nimble, do we want the trade-off between nimble, or do we want capacity, storage capacity, and the quality of life, about do you have a washer dryer on board or do you not? Do you plan on going to the laundromat or not? I'm telling you what, I tell you what, I'm walking here. I honestly don't believe I have seen a C on the lot in the last 10 years. And for us at this phase of our life as empty nesters, I don't think there's a Class C on any lot that I've ever seen that would make me want to drive the country as a full-timer like what we've done right here. So I want to say,
Thanks,
I think
sir.
you knocked it out of the park, my friend.
We try.
Let's just see if we can play around in one of these at some point. So yeah, with this, I think we'll cut to the end. What an amazing tour. Listen, if you're able to make it out here to Elkhart, plan a tour. You go through their website. We've done it before. It's worth doing. If you are a current owner or you want to think about being an owner, in no way, shape, or form are we paid for by Grand Design on this. This was done simply because of our long-term friendship with Zach. He did a solid for us, and wanted to show us his new toy. And Zach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Here's the honest bottom line. A month ago, we walked a lot near us in Elkhart, and we checked out over 30 floor plans. And honestly, by the end of it, we argued, we debated, and we told each other, you know what? We just can't see ourselves in a Class C again.
Too small.
Yeah, just didn't fit us right. Okay. But this is the first one in 10 years that remotely changed my mind.
And mine, really.
So in the next video, you're going to see something really special where we go into a deep dive Q&A with the designer, Zach. Let's get into his brain and his thoughts as why did he design this rig the way that he did.
And while you're at it, drop a comment below and tell us what you liked about this rig, what you didn't like, and any other questions you might have.
We can pass those questions on to Zach and get you straight answers. So if this video helped you, drop us a like, please subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. I think you understand that.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you
On the
journey.
I'm putting that at the end.